This video will show you how to use the ForeclosureZap module. It's a pretty cool little module, and I've used it for some other things that aren't really directly related to you guys. But let me just show you. I put in an email or I put in an address and I verify that address, it'll find the actual address, and I can click for the ZAP value. But before I click for the value, let's say that I found a property. Let's say I found this house on Keel Avenue and they want $50,000 for it. Now I can put in click for ZAP value, and it's going to pull up what it thinks the value is. And this is an aggregate value that we're pulling from several different places, and then creating an algorithm to try to come to the closest value that we can. It's not 100% accurate, but it's not bad most of the time. And it's going to be different for different areas. Now, if we're getting it for $50,000, we know that that's 61% of this ZAP value price. That means there's $31,000 of equity in this property if we got it for this price. So this is kind of a quick, easy way to determine the value of a property and whether or not what they're asking versus what its real value is a deal or not. And so it makes it really easy if you're doing cash deals, which we do, still do quite a few cash deals, even though we focus, most of my training is on terms. I still do cash deals because after a while, you start building enough cash, you need to spend it and you need to invest it. You can't spend all your money. You need to build a portfolio. Anyway, this is one good way to do that. The other thing here is that our site also searches different foreclosure sites, we're just starting to scrape different sites right now, and we don't scrape a lot of them, but we are scraping a few. So if I put in, let's say Indianapolis, Indiana, I'm not going to put a zip code or minimum beds and baths and all this stuff. But if I wanted to put in a value, how much below market value, if I only wanted to look at things 30% or more below market value in a specific time, I could do that, and it'll pull up everything that's 30% below market value, or at least has a ZAP value, below ZAP value, and it'll start looking for it. Sometimes it doesn't find anything. So let's take out Indianapolis and just make it Indiana and see what I can find. There's not a ton of listings in here yet. This is going to get bigger as we go along. There's one in Valparaiso. And sometimes it says 0. That's because it wasn't able to determine the ZAP value. But when you get down here and start looking at these other properties, then you can kind of get a better feel for how much below market value they are. And this is 30% of market value. So the ZAP value is saying it's 109,000. Whether or not that's accurate or not, it's determined by the area and the condition of the property and so many other things like that. And if you want to bid on this property, you just click on this bid now, and you can put your price that you want to bid on, and you can tell whether you're going to use cash or you're going to get a new loan. And if it's an investment property, you're going to live in it, because that's part of that changes depending on what you're going to do, and then any questions or comments you have. And then once you submit that bid, it'll come to us, and we will help you get it put together as a deal. You can also get any attachments that are connected with this. Sometimes there's disclosure, sometimes there's information about the property, conditions of the property, inspections. Some of those things are in these attachments, so you can look at that as well. And you can also look at the address on the map, if you want to pull up the map, and see a street view of that particular property. So that's kind of cool as well. Of course, it's not snowing in this picture. In addition to that, you can also save your current search. So if I want to save this Indiana search of 30% below market value, I can save that and call it 30% Indiana. And then later, if I want to come back here and save that or find that search again, I can. Or I can find one of my other searches that I have, and I can search that instead. So it makes it easy to come back here all the time and check for your properties as they get updated, because we're constantly scraping new properties in these areas. One bug that we're dealing with right now, this shows a lot more pages than are actually here. There's only 12 properties that are in this area right now. So we're going to improve this as we go. Remember, this is beta. Thanks.